Well, hello there, my beautiful souls. Let's jump into our daily reading. We're beginning with a couple or a few pre-pulled wisdom oracles, first of which being Observer as well as Time to Go. And it's interesting, as I was saying Observer, talking about this card, I was spacing out. And so there's nicely gonna be let me try that again. There's going to be somewhat of a nice balance coming into play where you maybe are feeling hyper aware of your surroundings, or it's maybe continuing to feel like that while you kind of take yourself away, or spirit helps you space out and get away from what you were focusing upon too much, or what you are, maybe mulling over, what has been feeling too heavy energy wise. And I want to remind you that you are somebody who's sensitive to energy, all right? You may not think or want to be labeled as an empath, so be it. I'm not here to judge, and I'm not here to change your mind in regards to that. But at the end of the day, what Spirit is saying is that energy creates what feels to be a sensitive vibe about you, all right? And there's something about Spirit saying it's going to be more than all right. This isn't a time for you to feel like things are perfect, but to sense and kind of be a part of the progression of things, the improvement of things, the shifting, because you're going to feel like people in your life, whether you like them, want to associate with them or should or not, they're shifting as well, okay? And I feel you at least have something to do with that due to your energetic presence, okay? And so shifting on forward, the Time to Go card is saying some of you need to think about where to head to next, whether it's traveling, it could be a move of residence, it could be something completely different for you, right? And I see some of you thinking about when the time comes for you to move to a different job or leave a job behind or whatever, again, the case may be for you. And exchanging gifts is your third oracle, because it's as if this period helps you feel more gifted, beautiful. It helps you feel more supported. It helps you get a better head on your shoulders while feeling like people actually give a damn about you, It reminds me of last night at my serving job. I got a bit nervous. I had a table shouting at me from across the restaurant. And, naturally it was getting busier, and it was karaoke night, and it's just a lot of heavy energy. And, it stressed me out. And as I was getting a bit shaky and continuing to feel that way, two of my coworkers, even I think a third one, kind of just ended up surrounding me at a certain point with caring energy. And I felt that was a gift in of itself, all right? And so there may be something about you needing to feel kind of looked after by spirits, by other people, and by yourself more than ever. So let's pull some tarot. I don't love that there's a bit of an emotional note coming through, some sort of emotional energy coming through my voice, but when an energy reading comes to be, energy is going to speak. It's going to be felt and it's going to be expressed. And so I was thinking back to my most recent Libra reading that I posted yesterday, I think it was. And it was quite powerful and heavy. It was bold. That's how Libras are feeling, especially in the beginning of the month. And so it maybe shied certain people away from following me any longer or tuning into Libra readings for that matter. But the energy was and is what it is. You know what I mean? And so I'm not trying to switch up the energy, because then I guarantee it won't be what it's meant to be, right? You may not even find relevance in regards to it. But what else do we have for this collective? You may stumble upon your speech at certain points. I'm hearing screw it, Nobody's going to be perfect in regards to how they're trying to express themselves at this point, even if they once were or have been occasionally. And so it's this kind of adjusting to who you have become as a soul, as an individual, while now being able to kind of tweak and play a bit of trial and error, in a sense, about how you start to express yourself, and maybe even about how you show up for other people and how you show up for yourself, right? Because that's how you set the tone. That's how you change your life for the better. What else do we have? I'm hearing the stars are aligning. You need to remember this. The stars are aligning, my friend. But the Page of Wands does not shock me at all, because you're coming through in such a passionate way to the point where it feels kind of different for you. It feels like you're starting fresh again in the way that you express yourself, the way you get your voice out there, and the way you put your best foot forward. And people are seeing you as a gift to them, all right? It may be some people feeling like you're a gift to us all, you know? I'm hearing especially if you place your content online somehow, put it out there into the universe, as I stutter a bit, quite accurately. But it just feels like people are viewing you as a gift, all right? And again, it's a period, if we didn't say it already, where you're feeling more gifted. That's super, super important. 1 second. I'm being drawn to now gaze over at a pair of swings, right? Because obviously you can see I'm sitting in the middle of a park. And what that's communicating to me is you need a little bit of free-flowing fun in your life, a little bit of something that reminds you of the more innocent times or just the fun times once again, but also kind of gets you out of your head or away from what hasn't been feeling amazing energy-wise. And so I'm getting the word or the phrase a bit of an escape in the right manner. You know, it's not like you're playing escapism with a bad habit or two, but hopping on a swing and letting that help you feel better and escape the bad energy. That's how you do it positively, right? And also some of you are feeling a focus coming to be on cold energy. You know, you could be walking in 100 degrees Fahrenheit weather, and if you get a cold chill about your body, I guarantee it's a spirit with cold energy, or maybe it's somebody you just passed by or thought about you, because cold energy does exist. And it really reminds me of where I was living downtown here in Bakersfield. And as much as I loved that house, the energy was cold, you know, and so I was living there in the dead of winter. But be grateful for where you're at, for things again are shifting for you, but they're not going to fully feel like it at certain points, where even that feeling or lack thereof a complete understanding or remembrance of things shifting plays such a key role for you. Okay, but let's pull a couple more cards. Where to put the tarot deck? I feel like certain factors of your current day reality throughout this day, even maybe surrounding it, will leave you kind of chuckling a bit. Whether it's someone goofy or weird, I'm hearing a bit delusional, or it could be content online, maybe a spirit who's weird or goofy. You might even find a flashback comes to be at a certain point in regards to when you were a bit goofier, you know, or maybe just had more fun. And so what about your current day commitments is leaving you feeling a bit further out from complete enjoyment, complete happiness maybe? And now as we observe this in a new light, and we strut away from what has left us feeling the opposite of that happiness, that joy, that maybe even comfort once again. For some of you, confidence is lacking. Anyways, it just feels like now we get to choose to enjoy life a bit more. And so I'm getting the phrase quite naturally to follow up with that, it's up to you. And when we start to smile, we need to remember that changes our energetic chemistry. Is that the right wording? It changes your energy, my friend. You know, your brain starts to feel like, okay, we're becoming happier, you know? And as your energy shifts, it's such a gentle shifting to the point where it makes a difference in regards to whatever you're applying yourself towards or whoever you're with. But now they're saying with this imagery here, wave your magic wand as the magician of your own life and make it happen. You know, I'm not saying be demanding in regards to it by any means, but it's the sort of gentle, I want this, and so it's going to come to be. I need this, so it's going to come to be. I feel like I should manifest this for somebody else, although that shouldn't be the main focus. You get the point. And so it really reminds you that where your power lies is now more than ever relevant when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to trusting your intuition, actually utilizing it and remembering this moving forward. not ignoring what needs to be changed where your power actually does lie. And I feel there's a key reminder coming through to keep yourself organized, keep your environment clean, because you're going to feel like, you know, for a bit too long for a lot of you, your external reality energy wise, or it could be things that you can't control, have been feeling too messy, right? Or too heavy once again. And so it becomes a day period, you know, where that cleanliness and even the act of doing so and organizing once again will also play a key role for so many different reasons. But let's get a couple more. I also feel there are certain key realizations coming through at this time. You will feel like a master in regards to your own reality more than ever. You will feel like when I need something the most from spirit or my intuition, you've got it, you know, here it comes, and maybe there it goes. But you don't always need to hold on to a realization of importance or an observation of importance once again, just because it held important relevance and purpose for you. It's about sometimes saying, you know, trust yourself with this. What I just noticed very clearly or did recently, let's move on. You know, I took or made a change somehow, whether I meant to or not, in regards to this, and now we shift on forward. I get a realization from, again, your intuition or spirit or whatever the case may be. It could be someone else's content online. That's definitely a possibility. And then we move on. You know, we cannot linger at this time in regards to what's being pointed out, felt, and gifted to you for many different reasonings. All right. And so it really invokes this sort of flow about what you're gaining and what you're being prepared to shift away from. Wow. Also coming out as the Fool. I mean, naturally, because the Fool gives this very free-flowing energy where they want you to think about moving forward lighter, healthier, again, happier. And so there are certain moments where they're saying dive deep into something that you've been neglecting, say working out or doing more skincare, or for some of you, journaling. This morning, I feel the need to share. I was getting ready and I keep hearing the message, count your blessings, Justin, because it hasn't been feeling super easy to do so, as my voice shakes a bit. And so basically Spirit said very sternly, what you're going to now start to try and do is have a notebook right by your bedside, because that's where you get your day started, and then write down 3 things that you are either grateful from the previous day or two, or you're about to be grateful for in regards to the day ahead or the week ahead, and write down 3 each morning, and it starts you off on the right note, you know, or the right notes. And so whatever ends up being for you, I do see a lot of you needing to implement certain levels of gratitude and appreciation where it's meant to actually be placed, right? And I see some of you thinking, I'm grateful for not giving up. I'm grateful for who I am. And I'm grateful for the way things are about to change in my individual favor. Now, we're also preparing you for a choice. It may be something that's meant to replace what you're going to leave behind. But regardless, the Fox was giving me that you're being epically prepared for a fleeting decision of importance where you trust yourself more than ever. But as we start to inch closer to 14 minutes, I'm going to leave our reading at that. All right. As always, my friends, I hope it was truly helpful. I'll see you in your next read. Take care.